Ultracycling magazine, and the show we adore, with Mosley and Jim, bringing us home. Oh yeah, doing the best.
My name is Loretta Holmes, and I reside in St. Joe, Michigan, which is a little resort town in southwest Michigan, and our town is right along the shores of Lake Michigan. And my recent ultra races include the Cycle 48, which I just did this past October. It was so fun. Calvin's Challenge, Coast to Coast Gravel. Those are just a couple, just to name a few that I've done. So I'm looking forward to the Sebring 12-hour time trial in February. But first, I'd like to share a little bit about how I got involved in cycling, and life sometimes tosses us some sort of wild surprise. I was raised in a pretty hostile environment, and running became my escape. So every time I laced up my sneakers and hit the pavement, it felt like I was breaking free from the chaos at home. So I found comfort in the rhythm of my feet hitting the ground, and before long, I was a pretty good runner. Then, one fateful day during a long run, I felt a sharp pain in my leg, and just like that, my IT band snapped like a rubber band. And that injury ended my running career, and I felt like a huge part of my life was taken away. Running was my escape and my life. So I knew I had to find a new path, and my orthopedic surgeon suggested give cycling a try. So I took his advice and I purchased an older used Cannondale that felt like it was made of lead. And from that moment, I was hooked. And just a year later, I purchased my very first carbon fiber race bike and dove headfirst into racing. And I cycled my way around a newfound confidence. So it was during those races that I discovered my knack for time trials and being part of the ultra cycling community, which is pretty cool. I've not only learned about my capabilities, but I formed some really deep connections and friendships with fellow cyclists at various races. I do have to share that at cycling races, ultra cycling races, people are so incredibly friendly that if you need something, there's an athlete, hey, I need extra nutrition, or do you have any extra water? They're just so incredibly friendly and they want you to be successful. So if you're contemplating an ultra cycling race, I invite you to come to the fastest and and probably, I would say probably the most flat ultra cycling event in the US, if not in the world. And if you want to lay down the most miles for 100 miles, 6 or 12-hour event, Sebring is the best place to do it in Sebring, Florida. And it's the perfect designation for advanced cyclists aiming to achieve their personal best. It's also a perfect designation for myself coming from Michigan, because come February, I'm ready to get out there, and it's still pretty gloomy and cold and snowy in February here in Michigan. So I'm really excited to get on my bike and go to take my bike to sunny Florida. So if you are thinking about doing this, I would really encourage you to think about the Century Ride, the 6 hours, the 12 hours, or even the long 24 hours of nothing but cycling bliss. And I know those 24-hour people can attest to that. But Bike Sebring will be held on February 15th, 2025. And who wouldn't, like myself, want to escape the winter chill and trade it in for that exhilarating thrill of racing their bike under the warm Florida sun? I know I'm raising my hand to that one. So this event will be even faster in 2025 because our super cool race director made some safe and route changes from previous years. For example, he's adding back the route to Reedy Lake and back, since most of those roads are less traveled. And the Sebring 24-hour race isn't just a test of endurance. If you're, it's your crazy ticket to qualify for a race across America. So I'd like to extend a personal invitation to all you female cyclists out there to embrace this challenge of ultracycling at Sebring, Florida this February. You join me at Bike Sebring, SEBRING.org, and take that leap, because on two wheels, you just might find the freedom and joy that you've been searching for. So thanks again, Lee, for having me on your program.
Ultracycling magazine.